Hello everyone and welcome to my Coronation Street official today. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Today we are diving deep into one of the most emotionally loaded storylines Coronation Street has gifted us in recent memory. Shona's second wedding. Now, when you hear the word wedding on this show, you already know it is never going to be simple. It is never just flowers and vows and a nice slice of cake. On Coronation Street, a wedding is a battlefield of emotions, a gathering point for everything unresolved, everything unsaid, and everything that could go beautifully right or spectacularly wrong all at once. But what makes Shona's wedding especially powerful is the women at the very center of it all. Shona has been through things that would have broken most people beyond repair. She has faced trauma that runs bone deep, navigated relationships that have tested her in the most painful ways imaginable, and carried the weight of a past that has followed her like a shadow through every single chapter of her life in Weatherfield. So, for her to stand at the altar again, to choose love again, is not just a romantic moment. It is a declaration, a statement of survival, and today, we are going to break down every single layer of what this moment truly means. Why it matters so deeply and what it could mean for everyone around her going forward. Let's start at the very beginning of this emotional build-up, because the road to the wedding day itself is just as important as the ceremony that everyone has been waiting for. As the big day approaches, there is this electric, almost restless energy surrounding Shona. You can feel it in the way she carries herself. Excited, yes, undeniably excited, but also guarded in a way that breaks your heart just a little. There is a quiet internal war happening inside her, and it is exactly the kind of deeply human conflict that Coronation Street handles better than almost any other show on television. On one hand, she's standing on the edge of something truly beautiful, something she has waited for and worked toward through tremendous pain. On the other hand, her past keeps whispering in her ear, reminding her of every time she allowed herself to believe things would be okay, only to have the ground pulled out from under her feet. I cannot tell you how much that resonates because we have all had moments like that, moments where happiness feels almost too fragile to fully trust, but Shona sits with those feelings rather than running from them. And that is what makes her such a compelling, endlessly watchable character. She does not pretend everything is perfect. She does not paste a smile over her fears and hope nobody notices. She actually confronts the terrifying possibility that she might not deserve this, and that maybe she is asking for too much by hoping for a second chance at a genuinely happy life. And honestly, watching that unfold on screen is both heartbreaking and incredibly moving at the same time. The preparations for the wedding beautifully mirror this emotional complexity in every single scene. There are genuinely warm and funny moments, the kind of easy laughter and light-hearted chaos you would expect when friends and neighbors from Coronation Street come together to help someone they care about get ready for the biggest day of her life. There are jokes, there are hugs, there are those wonderful little distractions that momentarily lift the weight off everyone's shoulders. But then come the quieter scenes, the ones that linger in the air long after they have passed. But then come the quieter scenes, the ones that lingers in the air long after they have passed, where Shona sits alone with her thoughts and you can see the full enormity of what she's about to do slowly settling over her like a tide coming in. Those moments are the real heart of the storyline, and they remind us why this show has endured for so long. Because it lets its characters breathe and feel and doubt rather than simply propelling them from one dramatic event to the next without pause. And then Weatherfield does exactly what Weatherfield does best. It rallies. The community gathers around Shona in that warm, uniquely Coronation Street way that never once feels forced or staged. Familiar faces show up not just to celebrate, but to remind her that she belongs here, that she has earned her place among these people, that her story genuinely matters to them. It is moving to witness because it speaks to something deeply universal the way love and community can hold a person together when their own strength begins to falter. Imagine how that must feel for someone like Shona, who has spent so much of her life feeling like she never quite fit, like she has always one step removed from the warmth that everyone else seemed to take for granted. To have an entire street behind her on this one day, that is not a small thing, that is everything. But, and this is the part that keeps every Coronation Street viewer on the edge of their seat, there is always that undercurrent of tension running just below the surface. Small complications begin to quietly surface, unexpected little obstacles that create a creeping sense of unease. The kind that makes you lean forward and watch just a little more closely than before. Because this is Coronation Street, weddings do not simply happen here. They unravel things, they reveal things, they expose what has been carefully hiding beneath the surface all along. And so, even as everything appears to be coming together beautifully, there is a part of every viewer holding their breath, waiting for the moment in the other shoe drops. When Shona finally walks down that aisle, the scene is extraordinary in its quiet, understated power. Every single step she takes feels loaded with meaning and history. This is not just a bride walking toward her future. This is a woman who has clawed her way back from the darkest places imaginable and chosen. With full knowledge of what it costs to open her heart once more, the ceremony captures all of that with a rare honesty, blending pure joy with something deeper and far more reflective. Those watching from the pews are not simply witnessing a marriage. They are witnessing a woman reclaim herself, her sense of worth, and her right to happiness, and that, more than anything else, is worth celebrating with every ounce of feeling we have. The impact of Shona's second wedding stretches far beyond the day itself, and that is precisely what will keep this storyline reverberating through Weatherfield for weeks and months to come. On a character level, this is a defining turning point that fundamentally reshapes who Shona is and what she represents within the world of the show. She is no longer the person defined purely by her trauma or her past mistakes. She is someone who looked all of that pain directly in the face and chose a different path. That shift is enormous, and it will color every scene she appears in going forward in ways that will be fascinating to watch unfold. But this wedding also functions as a catalyst for the world around her, and that is where things got truly interesting. Secrets that have been carefully buried will not stay buried forever. The presence of an event this significant has a way of drawing things to the surface that everyone would rather keep hidden. Relationships that seemed perfectly stable may begin to show their cracks under the pressure of all this heightened emotion. People who appear to be genuinely happy for Shona may be quietly carrying their own complicated feelings about love, loss, and the chances they never took. And those feelings have a terrible habit of spilling out at exactly the wrong moments. The ripple effects of this one extraordinary day will be felt across the street in ways that nobody, not even Shona herself, can fully predict or prepare for right now. And just when it feels like everything has finally settled, there's that quiet pause, the kind that makes you wonder what's still unsaid. Because this isn't just a happy ending, is it? It's a fragile beginning, one that could either heal everything or slowly unravel when no one's looking. What really stayed with me here is not the wedding itself, but Shona's choice, because choosing love again after everything she's faced, that takes more courage than any grand gesture ever could. And honestly, I can't help but feel proud of her, but also a little worried because in a place like Weatherfield, peace never lasts as long as we hope. You can almost sense it, can't you? Those tiny cracks beneath the surface, the looks, the silences, the things left unresolved, just waiting for the right moment to rise. So the real question is, has Shona truly found her safe place now, or is this just the calm before another storm? And what about the people around her? Are they genuinely happy for her, or carrying feelings that could change everything overnight? Here's my take. This wedding might not just change Shona's life, it could quietly reshape relationships across the street. In ways no one sees coming yet, I wouldn't be surprised if the next chapter brings a test. Something unexpected, something that forces Shona to prove that this new version of herself is here to stay. Because second chances are beautifully, but they're also delicate, and sometimes they come with a cost. So now I'm curious. Do you believe Shauna's happiness will finally last, or do you think trouble is already on its way? And if it does, will she fight for this love, or will the past find a way back in? Stay with this story because something tells me the most important moments haven't happened yet.